Here we go, start of a new ECHL season with your Atlantic City Boardwalk Bullies, a new team, and hopefully we can win the ECHL championship as soon as possible to make it into Europe. So here we go, first game in franchise history since the mid-2000s, I believe. And that's unfortunately going to be a 5-1 loss, although it looks like it was a pretty competitive game, 35 shots to 31. I mean, they dominated the score, but they didn't dominate the shot totals, so that's something to take out of it. All right, but hey, our second game, we get a 4-1 win, and it appears they outshot us again, 37 to 29. But this time we get the 4 goals. And the Kelly Cup playoffs start on March 17th. So I guess we'll go through to, December. And we'll see where we go from there. All right, so we're on January 1st here. So stopped a little later than I expected. But overall, we're not doing too bad. I mean, we're not scoring as much as I would like. We have one player who's point per game, Newman. He has 42 points in 40 games. Everywhere else, it's not ideal. But I suppose it's good enough considering the facts that we are second in our division with 46 points. We're actually tied for first in the division with Brampton. We're fourth in the conference, so I see no reason why we can't make the playoffs this year, honestly. As we take a look at the team stats, goals for per game, we're sitting 12th in the league with a 3.1. And goals against per game, we're sitting 6th in the league with a 2.69. So goaltending getting it done. And for the special teams, power play is actually tied for first in the NHL. What am I saying? ECHL. With a 22.7, and then the penalty kill is actually sitting in 7th with an 85%. So we could be doing better for sure. Grade-wise, most of our guys are looking solid. And like I said earlier, I think we could definitely use some more offense, but there's not much to be done about it right now due to the fact that we have 6,000 left in salary cap space. So as a result of that, I can't really go out to free agency and sign anybody. And if I wanted to make a trade, then it would have to be for an ECHL contracted player. And there's not really too many of those. So I think as long as we keep doing what we've been doing, we should be a lock for a playoff spot. I mean, obviously our record isn't the greatest, 21, 17, and 4. But like I said, I think if we just keep doing what we've been doing, then the playoffs should be in reach as we see by our goals against per game. We're actually tied for first with the lowest goals against per game in our conference with South Carolina. The majority of the better defensive teams are in the Western Conference. So personally, I don't see any reason, like I said, why we shouldn't be able to make the playoffs at this point. It's just a matter of if we could score enough, to be able to maintain that position. Because scoring has definitely been the biggest question mark so far this season, as seen by our point totals. I'm kind of hoping that someone else other than Newman steps up here. And Newman's actually injured right now, but it is only a minor injury. He should be back soon. So I think with that, we'll get to the end of the regular season. Either that or the trade deadline at the very least. You have got to be kidding. Our best player, Reggie Newman, who is, once again, our only point per game player, 68 points in 62 games played so far, has gone down with a 3rd-degree MCL sprain for 1 to 2 months, and we are now after the trade deadline. This season has actually been going pretty well. I mean, it hasn't been ideal for sure, but it's, we're in a playoff spot with 32, 27, and 6 at the moment. But with our top point scorer down, our top point scorer now, currently on the roster, is McKeever with 48 points in 62 games. So that is definitely a big blow to our offense. I think we're going to need to find someone to temporarily replace him in free agency. All right, so we have ended the season 35, 31, and 6. Good enough for 5th in the division, but we did make the playoffs, 7th in the conference. However, I do not feel good about this in the slightest, given that we still have our leading point scorer, Reggie Newman, on the injury list. He is day-to-day, so he may be back soon. I hope sooner rather than later, because, we're going to need him for sure in these playoffs if we intend on winning, because as we see by the rest of our stats, we are not a good offensive team without him. So currently leading our team is McKeever with 55 points. Then you have 49, 48, 37, 36. It's a huge drop-off from what Newman had. And Newman hasn't played in a month, and he's still our leading scorer. So that just proves how much of an impact he had. And as we check goaltenders, so Blackburn had a .913 save percentage in 34 games, and Bridges had a .903 in 40 games. So I'm hoping that Matt Sundin decides to go with Blackburn. just based off those save percentages. Now let's check out the team stats for the end of the regular season. Goals for per game, we're sitting at a 3.11, 11th in the league. It certainly doesn't feel like we scored that much, gotta be honest. And a lot of that is probably due to Reggie Newman. Goals against per game, we're sitting 8th in the league with a 2.85. So at least our defense and our goaltending is pretty solid. If it wasn't, then we would definitely not be in a playoff spot. Power play was actually 3rd in the league with a 21.6, and the penalty kill was sitting 10th with a 83.6. So when our roster is healthy, we're not that bad. We're honestly not. But with Reggie Newman down, being our top point scorer by a long shot, this is going to be a tough playoffs. It really is. I have a feeling. So I certainly hope that our defense and our goaltending is going to be top notch. Here we go. We have the ECHL playoffs. We are currently up against Adirondack in the first round. They're 41, 25, and 6 during the regular season. Obviously a better record than us. So we have to make sure that our defense and our goaltending is stellar here against Adirondack and really against every team that we come across. And in game number 1, we have a 3-2 Adirondack win. 3 stars of the game, Sear, McKeever, and Gordon. Shots were 31-25, so we outshot them, but they got the extra goal. Here we go, game number 2. We have a 5-2 Adirondack win, and this time they get 57 shots on net. Ooh boy, this could be a long series. The shots were 57-21 in favor of Adirondack, of course. 3 stars of the game, Gallo, Versteeg, and Combe. All right, game number 3. What do we have? We have oh my goodness. Yeah, this is, wow. This is going to be a short series, isn't it? 10-2 Adirondack win. Shots were 54-20. 3 stars of the game, Lavelle, Edwards, and Gallo. Yeah, that was... We don't talk about that. So just in time, Reggie Newman has come back for game number 4. Although after that last game, I'm not entirely sure how much it really matters against this team, because it seems like they definitely have our number. As we take a look at... oh, geez, this is rough. This is rough. Let's see. Actually, let's see the stats. See who's gotten points so far. All right, Jackson Hughes. He's got 5 points in 3 games, then 3 points for Colert, but not much else going on. So Reggie Newman, get back on the roster. We definitely need you for this game 4. Hopefully he can work some magic and help us get back in this series, because it is not looking good. Here we go. Going into game number 4. This is an elimination game, of course, so we're going right into it. Here we go. First period now underway. Come on, Newman. Get us a goal. And all right, there's a goal for us. And there's another one by Eric Ciccolini from Behrens and Harrison. So heading into the second period now with a 2-0 lead. Let's keep it that way. And there's a goal for them. St. Michel from Gordon and Versteeg, so they're within 1 now. I mean, you couldn't have expected the shutout to last the entire game, right? Like, they just scored 10 goals last game, so maybe that's expecting a bit much, but I would like it if we could keep them to 1 goal. You know, that'd be, a win would be nice. All right, come on, boys. Third period. Shut her down. Get me 1 more goal at least. Not exactly what I meant. Bo Robinson with the goal for them. We are now tied at 2. 6:04 remaining in the third. And we are headed to overtime. Who's it going to be? It will be Adirondack, and we get swept. That was brutal. That was absolutely brutal, especially the past couple of games. Shots were 30-14, only 14 shots on net. Yeah. That was brutal. I guess we'll take one more look at the stats. I mean, it's not much different from when we last checked, but let's see if our guy Newman did anything. Nope, not really. -2. I mean, it makes sense. Adirondack's much better than us record-wise, but still, if we lost that badly to Adirondack, then imagine how we would have done against, like, Norfolk. Ooh. This is going to be a long process, I have a feeling. All right, so if there's anything to take out of this, it's that Adirondack did indeed win the Kelly Cup. So I guess that's, you know, we lost to the Kelly Cup champions, but we lost in the first round, you know, and in a sweep nonetheless. So I can't even say that I'm really encouraged by that. If it had been a close series, like if it went to 7 games, like 6 or 7 games, then I would have said, okay, maybe we would have had a chance, but I don't think so, especially not against, I mean, our former team over there in Fort Wayne. I know they do have a pretty good roster, as we saw in our time there, so I don't think it would have mattered either way. All right, so we did get an award here. Quinn Colert has won the Sportsmanship of the Year award. As far as the roster goes, I have re-signed everybody who I wanted back, and there was one instance where I couldn't resign. Cameron Lund did not want to resign. But everybody else, I got back everyone who I wanted back. And everyone else on this list besides Lund, I am not interested in re-signing. So, I mean, actually, Mize might be good to re-sign since he's 20 and he has that 4-star potential. So I think I'll get him back. Yeah, we'll get him back. But everybody else getting released to free agency. Here we go, season score. We did indeed reach the playoffs. We had a winning season. We did not have a winning percentage of 600 or better. We did not finish first, reach the finals, or win the championship. We didn't have any negative categories, and our final season score is 22. Total career score added up to 176. I'll just evenly distribute those 4 points up there. GM ratings getting up there, slowly but surely. Okay, so I want to try to get some star power on the back end, and I think this guy's going to be a wild card. Dylan Gill. He's got that 16 offensive read and 15 puck handling. His defensive category is not bad, but what stands out about him to me is that with Utah last season, he only played 10 games, but he had 12 points in those 10 games on the back end and a 68 grade. So if that can carry over into a whole season, then I would like him to be on our team for sure. He's asking for a little bit much, $38,000, but I think it'll be worth it. As long as he stays healthy, it should be worth it. Another player I'm interested in here is Connor Welsh. He played for Greenville last season with 48 points in 70 games, 67 grades, so I can only assume his defensive grade was pretty good. Defensive ratings, they don't look bad. Neither do offensive ratings. I mean, he looks very well-rounded all around. Good team player. I think that's a big part of why I want to sign him. So Connor Welsh. And the best part is he only wants $13,000, so we're going to definitely give him that. I think I want to get Jake Sondriel on the team if I can, because what's really standing out about him to me is his 16 positioning. And not only that, but his 15 puck handling. So both of those things combined, I wouldn't imagine he's going to be turning over the puck too much. And the last time he played in the ECHL, which was with Maine last year, he had 20 points in 33 games, 63 grade. So even if he were to be put in a defensive role, I think he would succeed there, given his positioning. He is asking for $24,000, but I think he'll be worth it. All right, so skipping right ahead to the preseason now, and we are slightly over the salary cap. I mean, not right now, but once the regular season starts, then we're going to be above the salary cap. So we are going to have to cut somebody more than likely. So we'll use the preseason to determine who that will be. And after that, we'll end things off and we will get to the regular season simulation in the next one. Okay, I think I've decided that I'm going to trade Tremblay Mathieu. His grade isn't exactly great for what he's making, so I think we'll offer him out. And in return, we're going to be getting from the Indy Fuel, Cade O'Haron. He's 22 years of age. And his ratings, what really stands out to me is his stick checking and his determination. I like that about him. His stats from last season, 16 games played, 2 points, 56 grades, so nothing spectacular there. But I do think he has some potential, so we're going to complete this trade. Not to mention his contract's pretty cheap, $13,000. Unfortunately, we are still slightly above the salary cap by literally $4,000. However, if we place Will Mize on the reserve list, since we don't need him, since he's our third string goaltender, that does put us below the salary caps. All right, so we're at the end of the preseason here. I really like what our team did during this preseason. I don't know if these teams were playing their best rosters or not. What I do know is we won all but one game. I certainly believe that we improved. I mean, in goal, we're the same. I mean, it's not like we really needed to change anything there anyway, because both Blackburn and Bridges had solid save percentages. And then at forward, we managed to keep Reggie Newman. We got some new talent on board. I'm liking the way that this team is shaping up so far, but hopefully our preseason success will carry over into the regular season. So I think that'll be about it for this one. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one when we start the Year 2 simulation with your Atlantic City Boardwalk Bullies.